Underway, second half. OL Reign, Chicago Red Stars, quarterfinal number 4 of the NWSL Challenge Cup.
And to my point, goes back to what the coaches have been saying, which is the importance of these types of games, where it matters if you win or if you lose, putting players in positions, because it's not enough when you just have four teams going to the knockout stages in the regular season. And with the games being so tight, only 3 subs per game, it doesn't allow for many younger players to get much experience, and this just allows for quicker development. And quite frankly, just experience at this level, at a higher level than players are accustomed to coming out of college.
5 substitutions in this game mean plenty of ways to try and pull levers for both these coaches. Solid first clearance, but McCaskill was trailing. Grinding in Kalia Watt, and the whistle arrives late. Let's hear how Chicago's attack is forming with Marissa.
Chicago assistant coach Scott Parkinson said the team has had a lot of success getting in behind Reign's defense, and they want to continue to emphasize that in the second half. They're asking their forwards Savannah McCaskill and Katie Johnson to step in front of Reign's defense to pull their defenders out of position, creating more space for Rachel Hill to run in behind.
It's that interchange that we've been talking about, and just the understanding of the tendencies between the midfield and the strikers. Kalia Watt, can she pop off the back line, allowing for space in behind? Same with Savannah McCaskill, coming from that attacking midfield position. So difficult for defenses to be able to read. Have to be a tight unit in communication. But with the way that Lauren Barnes is pressing and getting higher up the field, they don't even need that interchange that often. Just look to play balls in behind early and get players into support.
It's Cruz. Header speared out. Floated forward again. Taylor ran by her, looking to lift that back across the face of goal and put it on top.
And if Taylor could just keep that one in and spin out, instead of trying to play a difficult ball, wrapping her hips around when she's off balance.
Chicago pushing ahead. Katie Johnson. Flag stays down. Off the step, this runs out as a goal kick.
And with Rachel Hill making those runs from inside out, goes back to what we were talking about, forces Amber Brooks to have to step out, and then there's loads of space if Lauren Barnes doesn't track back centrally for those late runners for Chicago to occupy. About finding that extra pass or that extra ability to be able to separate yourself from the defender, to be able to get that cross off with the ball laid back on top of the box.
St. George for DiBernardo. McNabb pursues. Comes to Colaprico and dumps it wide. St. George. Corner Chicago, 50th minute.
And St. George had Savannah McCaskill this time. She was darting run to look to see if she could find space in behind. St. George opted to take an extra touch to close herself down. Play that first time, and it's the easy tap in for Savannah McCaskill. Good awareness, good run from her.
Corner driven, short. Is there a chance to get a touch to that for Johnson? Lifted back up, and Murphy calling everybody off. Huerta. Huerta closed down McNabb. Comes out wide. Darian Jenkins powering through and now plays it across. Hammered over. Absolute rip from Huerta.
And great individual effort from Darian Jenkins. Makes something out of nothing. They do a good job, Red Stars, of doubling down. Kayla Watt helping back, and then she just finds that little bit of space to split both of them. And right here, Huerta with the big swing. All she has to do is just punch it back on frame. She opts to come around it and sends that one over the bar. Just try to redirect it. Force Nair to have to come up with a save if possible.
Johnson sprinting back. Once again, Alana Cook has covered a lot of ground in this game. Cook has been outstanding. Short wants that played out in front of her. Casey Short trying to impress the U.S. women's national team staff in attendance.
And what a matchup this has been between Jenkins and Short, the two of them battling, running at each other, make it so difficult defensively for each other and offensively.
Slide in, McCaskill. Down again, grabbing at her legs. Even think back to her time at South Carolina, a lot of fouls against Savannah McCaskill. She's a unique player, can drop back, play as a false nine, lead the line up front, can move out wide.
And that's the interesting thing about McCaskill is it's just about finding what role suits her best on which team. Saw her play as a more true out-and-out striker.
Toward Watt.
Out-and-out striker at Sky Blue, and then been a more withdrawn number 10 with the Chicago Red Stars.
Short toward the back post. Short scored in Chicago's lone win of the preliminary stage against Utah in the 85th minute. Rory Dames said one goal could open this game up. Look at this run by McCaskill, reminiscent of her performance in the preliminary round. Thrown in by Short, Kayla Watt.
That's one area that Rory Dames spoke so highly of Savannah McCaskill, is her willingness to get fit. Sat down for an individual meeting after last season, talking about areas that she can control. And that was one of them, and dedicated her time the off season to doing just that.
Nice touch wide by Watt. Casey Short delivers. Knotted straight back out. Caskill, Jenkins. 10 minutes into the second half. There is no extra time in the Challenge Cup. This quarterfinal, if it remains deadlocked at full time, go to penalties. Away from Watt, settled by DiBernardo. That did deflect. Corner, Red Stars.
And it was the end of the first half where we started seeing Reign get some possession, get their opportunities. And now the first 10 minutes of this second half, Chicago coming out on the front foot. A variety in their attack. This is a good heads-up play. Watt just sneaks inside, a quick throw from short. DiBernardo gets herself in a good position on top of the box, but can't get around it to bend that far post.
Much closer than it looked initially as well. Fourth Red Star corner. Short rises up. Watt pursues one of the key off-season acquisitions coming in from Houston. Sarah Gordon works out of the back. DiBernardo. Johnson couldn't drag her run nearly enough.
And this is the area where the Reign were falling into, getting themselves in trouble early on in the first half as well. If you're not going to get pressure on the ball initially, then everybody's got to get more compact. That back line is still too far. Too much room in the midfield for those players to have to occupy. Drop your line back or step the back line up. Too easy right now for Chicago to either play balls over the top or find room in the midfield.
Chicago has played through the press, and now a line of 4 blue shirts. DiBernardo through the challenge by Huerta. Settled, played through. Diced the back line, but out of the reach of Rachel Hill.
If you want teams to chase, that's what you do. Recycle if it's not on, switch the point of attack. Go out the other side.
Nair drops back into goal. Knew she didn't have a shot at that. This is going to be a corner for OL Reign. No Ali Long, no Megan Rapinoe for OL Reign. A couple key parts of set pieces. This ball hit right at Nair off the head. Puts her hands up and knocks it down.
And what an opportunity. Perfectly placed corner kick, even better header, wide open. And it's Huerta wide open on that far side, just attacks the ball, keeps it low, keeps it on frame. Nair does well though, just to keep herself big. Punch that out of danger.
McCaskill.
And McCaskill finding good spaces, but now she's got to get on the half turn. Her first touch takes her backwards. And it's difficult to play a forward pass. She can face up and start running. That's when she's the most dangerous, and we haven't seen her enough at that. Running with the ball, she's so skillful. You see her doing a lot of the movement off the ball.
Somehow that pushed ahead by McCaskill. Pressure from Murphy to drive this out. there. He's had to make a couple big stops along the way. Put that into a dangerous spot with Taylor withdrawn.
But the question is, Mike, where's the back line for the Reign? See how deep they are. Step up your pressure. Don't let them get out. Reign does a good enough job, but if it's one pass, would bypass that initial pressure that you saw Fishlock and Jody employing. And it leaves McNabb, it leaves Cruz on an island. Unfortunately for OL Reign, the Red Stars haven't done enough to be able to exploit it.
Winner of this one will take on Sky Blue. Do we get our third upset of this tournament, or does OL Reign go into the semifinal? Final coming July 26th, live on CBS. Good work by Gordon.
And I agree with you, Mike. You mentioned Alana Cook and how well she's playing. We're seeing a maturity, her growing into this game, getting used to the pace. I'm most impressed, though, with her delivery out of the back, just chipping balls in, balls that are easy for Jody Taylor to be able to take down. A lot of composure on the ball out of the back.
Soccer fans, NWSLshop.com, the official store of the NWSL, is now open. Check out the 2020 NWSL Challenge Cup collection and apparel and merchandise from your favorite team. Sign up and save 10% on your next order when you visit. Gear up now at NWSLshop.com. Long overdue. I don't think either of these kits lasted very long when they went on sale. Reign redesign, the neighborhood kit, doing quite well. Good win high up the field by Watt, and McCaskill nearly played her through. Lori's verbal gasp. Jenkins, the other way, went right through her legs.
And it's something that Rory Dames talked about, especially with Watt and her ability to read the play off of the defenders, pick off balls, get herself in more advanced positions. And she's doing well with that tonight when she gets the chance. We've seen her do that in the last few games as well.
Cruz was brought down in the lead up.
And this time it's McCaskill. We've seen her on the ground quite a bit, and this time she's giving it back.
Colaprico is at minimum an accessory to that foul.
Fair enough.
Steph Cox. OL Reign talked lead up to their 0-0 draw against Portland. Ultimately sealed Portland's fate as the number 8 seed and sent this whole bracket into chaos. About the need to have more determination than the opposition. They came into this game, Lori, speaking about confidence, positivity. They felt like despite the fact that the results in the early going of the preliminary round far from indicative about how far they could go once they get here, because the ambition of this club is so large.
And you feel that throughout, continuing to evolve, continuing to find those partnerships, continue to create a winning mentality, culture, building off of the foundation that they already have.
Fishlock unlocked down the line. Doubled. Fishlock goes down edge of the area, and she grinding her forehead into the turf. Just got up. Only Fishlock's second game since returning from a knee injury last year. She's still a bit labored. Ball pumped into the box for OL Reign. McCaskill. Barnes. Shirley Cruz. McNabb. Fishlock. McNabb. Jenkins swerving that off of Ertz.
There's got to be a near post run. That's a good buildup. Jenkins pulls herself wide to allow for some space.
Jenkins did well to get the ball, but McNabb couldn't hang on. And now Chicago charges downfield. It's Johnson seeking Hill. Comes to Kalia Watt. Looking for her first Red Stars goal. Off the cut. Kalia Watt. Wide. Beautiful set of moves from Kalia Watt. Dancing her way into position. And then pushes this one off frame.
And how this isn't in the back of the net, I don't know. And neither is Kalia Watt. She does everything right in the build-up play. All she has to do is slot this far post, just pulls it wide. Almost too much time to think about it. Sees part here, so much room. I mean, credit to OL Reign. If they're not going to get pressure on the ball, Casey Murphy makes herself big to at least shut down the angle. But Watt showing some of her magic to be able to cut players, take players on 1v1. But in these matches, when there's not a ton of opportunities, not a ton of clear-cut opportunities, you have to be able to finish those chances.
I was looking in that watch party, see if JJ's in the building. He's been supporting via social media. Kalia's husband playing for the Houston Texans. In the slides, McCaskill. Watt touches it forward. Cruz wrapped around McCaskill to take it back for OL Reign. And Bethany Balser came on a moment ago. Balser pushing the tempo. Sought out Taylor.
And Mike Balser's a player that we usually see on the front line out wide. I think her best position is in the number 10. We saw her score late in the opening rounds of this tournament, coming out of that deep position of midfield. She's able to run at players, find space. She can play the final pass. She has good vision.
Let's go down to Marissa for more on Bethany Balser.
Reign assistant coach Sam Lady said that one reason for the Bethany Balser sub was because they are concerned about Jess Fishlock, and the minute she's able to play, they're happy with her performance, but wanted to get Balser in as an attacking sub. And he said she will drive this team forward, and she has the ability to get on the end of things inside the box.
Bethany Balser came off shortly after the hydration break in OL Reign's game against Portland and sent out on Twitter a statement which noted that she had fallen to the ground and had a panic attack, struggled to catch her breath. I think it shines an important light, I think, across sports and across humanity about, in her words, mental illness, mental health, and the role that it plays. But Balser, Rookie of the Year last year, game winner against Utah, Reign's only win. And we're glad she's okay and able to play today.
Was it very vulnerable to her to put that out on social media, give us an insight, a glimpse into her life and players' lives that we don't typically talk about a ton. It's the mental side, what this tournament has been like, challenging for everyone involved, being in a bubble. We heard Rory Dame speak about it. Everything that's going on in the world, plus here and being asked to perform at such a high level.
Balser. Oh, what an excellent ball out wide. Whipped across. Maybe a chance here for McNabb. Alyssa Nair pokes that over the top. It would have been an unlikely hero.
And what an opportunity for McNabb. Finds herself, picks this ball off, and there's a bit of space for her to carry it, takes it well, forces a huge save from Nair. And you can see Huerta saying, why not keep going? If the space is open, take it yourself.
Set piece for OL Reign. Headed down toward the 6-yard box. And a foul. Free kick OL Reign. And what a place to get one at this stage of the game.
So many momentum changes. We saw Chicago right off the opening whistle of this second half, creating opportunities. Now the Reign, Bethany Bolster coming in, being active. Huerta still finding some space.
Well, you can see the wounds and scars that come from playing these last, in some cases, 5 games. Some of the best soccer players in the world have laid it all on the line. And the tragedy of it now, one's going home potentially in 18 minutes. Set piece here. It's Barnes curling high.
It's always going to be tough from that angle and that distance. With a direct shot on goal to beat Nair, even if there was enough pace and dip on the ball.
Menez Delgado. Nicole Momiki among those checking on. Ella Stevens for Chicago. Momiki replacing Jody Taylor up front. Back to Ertz. Inviting Balser in. DiBernardo. Watt. Cruz. And there was a drag of the leg across the ground that has resulted in an injury here. And Ella Stevens, who just came on a minute ago, is down, being consoled by her teammates. Well, Stevens signed to a short-term contract in the lead-up to this tournament. We've reached the hydration break between OL Reign and Chicago as Stevens remains down. You're watching the NWSL on CBS Sports.
Just everybody involved, and we've seen players step up. We've seen teams throughout this tournament using their platform for different initiatives. And it's something that Roy Dames has spoke about throughout this tournament, his team having those difficult conversations, important conversations early on, part of the reason why they got off to a slower start. Have grown together off the field. And a lot of those initiatives centered around those conversations.
And eventually, in Rory Dames' estimation, started to find a normal here in what can only be described as the opposite of such. A world that's seen indelible change over the last 4 months since training camps were set to begin for the NWSL season. Ella Stevens is up and walking toward the sideline. We'll try and get an update on her condition as we go forward tonight, or by Wednesday when we kick off the semifinal. NWSL quarterfinal on CBS Sports in the Challenge Cup. Noelle Rain taking on Chicago Red Stars. Jimenez Delgado came on for Stephanie Cox a moment ago. Michelle Vasconcelos has come on for Chicago, placing Katie Johnson. Bolser, Momiki dancing away from goal. Whip cross back post, skims the head of Jenkins and gets out. Vasconcelos out of BYU. He's dealt with injury and has come back to be a major piece. Stevens comes out. Talking with Rory Dames here. There is a foul in the penalty area. Free kick for Chicago. Savannah McCaskill initially came out. Stevens came on. Now Mackenzie Duniak has come on for Stevens after her injury. Vasconcelos, Duniak. Jimenez Delgado steers this out of play. Jimenez Delgado slides this out. Throw for Casey Short. Time ticking away. Short scored in the 85th against Utah in the preliminary round, giving the Red Stars a crucial win for seeding purposes. Corner Chicago.
This is where the moments when the delivery has to be executed. The aerial battle for Chicago. DiBernardo needs to place this one in, give her teammates a chance, opportunity on goal.
It's DiBernardo towards Short, who perhaps was looking for a second ball. Instead, as far as Gordon. DiBernardo. Lofting, Murphy bobbles and has it. Jenkins wanted it to her feet. Nicole Momiki able to get a touch. Winds by Balser, who widens out, collects. St. George trying to close it down. Balser. Goal kick.
And St. George has really done well throughout this tournament. That's a player that has been able to rise to the occasion, get a lot more minutes that she's experienced previously. Still room for improvement in terms of her positioning. Gets up and down the field, allows for opportunity to create overloads in the attack for Chicago, but also tough to deal with defensively.
Vasconcelos couldn't latch on. McNabb. Lauren Barnes, who's not looked out of place in the least, out on the left-hand side. Huerta. Balser. Cruz. Wednesday, our first semifinal is already set. Houston, Portland. Who joins Sky Blue in the nightcap? Momiki. Ertz helped to take it away. The attack continues solely on the left-hand side of the field. Push into Momiki. Kept by Cruz. Momiki squares. Jenkins headed away by Ertz. As far as Jimenez Delgado. This runs out. Time running out. And Colaprico being stretched out in the latter stages.
This is what happens when you have players important to your team playing so many minutes. Fatigue sets in, cramping. And credit to these players that have been playing 90+ minutes, majority of the games. Colaprico, one of those. Midfield stalwart for this Red Stars team.
They've certainly run a lot of miles. Maybe closer to 2 marathons than 1.
Brilliant ball by Bethany Balser.
Jenkins. Played across. McNabb helped to hold up play. Off the turn, Jimenez Delgado lofting header down. Nair pushes it out.
An awkward ball in. Darian Jenkins does well. This one's floated. Gets held up in the air for a while. Jenkins does well to get something on it. Awkward bounce, and Alyssa Nair just has to bat it away. You can see the spin off the turf.
Leads to a corner. Momiki. Jimenez Delgado. Lofting, punched away this time by Nair. Momiki allowed that out for a throw. Throw El Rain.
And Momiki giving this Rain team new signs of life. She's on the left-hand side, she's on the right-hand side. Wiggling her way through pressure.
Cook, as far as Nair, is guarding the farm side of the venue. We'll miss the farm, Lori.
We absolutely will miss the farm.
We will.
We'll miss the slide.
Gordon defensively. Cruz. Nice give and go. Jimenez Delgado tripped up. Another set piece for OL Reign to try and grab a late lead.
And this has been the best performance of this tournament for Darian Jenkins, causing so much trouble for Chicago's back line. We talk about variety and having more fluidity in their attack for the Reign. She's provided that. Dangerous every time she gets the ball with its combination, with its getting in line, cutting inside. Prove dividends and move her to the right-hand side. She seems more comfortable than she did on the left.
Barnes is a dangerous option if Momiki decides to downshift. Momiki going to the back post, looking for Jenkins. Impressive performance by Darian Jenkins. Drafted by North Carolina, 7th overall in 2017. Viewed as a long-term prospect there. Has fit into this OL Reign side, and Fareed Benstiti putting a big load on her in this game to try and get in behind the Chicago defense.
And it's helped that they've been able to get more numbers around the ball, starting with the insertion of Jess Fishlock into the starting lineup, her support play. Momiki now entering the game. We talked about the players in the attack for the Reign in those opening games, being on islands, not having a ton of support, having to do it themselves, too predictable, easy for teams to defend. Now there's been a variety in their attack. And Jake has been a main part of that, serving different styles of ball, whether it's slow-driven balls in, whipped in behind, but also getting in the box herself, creating chances.
There is no extra time. If we're at 0-0, we are going to penalties at the conclusion of stoppage. Cruz. Balser bypasses McNabb, out to Jenkins. The overlap arrives, but Jenkins cuts inside. This will come wide to Jimenez Delgado. Nair using the spin off the turf to her benefit to catch up to that. And Huerta is down for OL Reign. Not the only one. Haley Awad is up. The left leg being looked at here as we are into stoppage time.
And with the momentum clearly on the Reign side, these latter half of this half for this game, see Rory Dames just alleviate pressure, get the ball out, don't give the Reign any opportunities.
Huerta toward the sideline. Rebecca Quinn, who comes on, and that may have a bit of a role here. Certainly not like for like in how the final minutes of these games may play out for OL Reign. You begin to wonder just how many times you've practiced your spot kicks over the course of the last month.
Well, that's what you have to give thought to as well. Some of these substitutions, primarily due to the fact that we are narrowing in on the penalty kicks, getting their best players out there.
Ertz. Nair. Colaprico. Watt. So the pendulum swings for the Red Stars with 90 seconds to go to try and find the goal now. Ball in the attacking half. Settled by DiBernardo. Finds the space wide. Momiki attempts to close it down. It'll come to Murphy. Only one goal in these quarterfinals thus far. They're one late here to avoid penalties. Hill circumnavigates. Now reverts back down the touchline. Quinn. Ertz. Vasconcelos. Maybe the last chance here. Chicago can get numbers forward off this throw. One more clearance from OL Reign likely sends us straight to penalties. Sends one team on the verge of going home. This ball whipped by Watt at goal. Murphy secures the clean sheet in regulation. Likely puts herself into the spotlight. Short. Kaya Korleva allowing this to play out. There was an injury as stoppage time began. Short gets wide. Is this the moment for the Red Stars? Julie Ertz. Ertz gets it wide. Hill. Nair. Plenty more time in the allotted 4 minutes. Skips ahead to Duniak. Short. Charging forward, and Murphy off the high bounce. Full time. Scoreless again, penalties again. The third time we'll go to penalties in 27 hours of the NWSL Challenge Cup.
And back and forth through moments of this game, momentum shifts throughout. Both teams with some really good looks, particularly by Kalia Watt in that opportunity that she knows she should have finished. But both teams battling. You could see the tired legs, the fatigue set in as of late. Now they're going to need to regroup. Kicks from the spot. Can they put them away? It's a big question.
Lori, late night. Grab your popcorn, grab a sandwich.
And piled high with veggies.
Absolutely. The only way to do it. Let's take a look at the highlights. OL Reign, Chicago Red Stars. We begin back in the 11th minute. And the early opportunities for the Red Stars. Hill cutting it back, Johnson off the crossbar.
And it would be Chicago Red Stars off on the front foot right away. Johnson, first time opportunity right on top of the box. Good look by her. And then it would be the OL Reign starting to bring themselves into the game, particularly with Jessica Fishlock. Her ability to find good space, work her way in and out of pressure, unleashes that opportunity, and Nair doing a good job to parry it away.
In the 51st minute, you thought Darian Jenkins had a very good game. This was an explosive moment.
Does well enough to put this on a platter, but it's a tough angle, it's a tough ball. Huerta tries to attempt a bigger swing than needed. Just can she get this back on frame? Punch at the ball with her leg instead of swing.
Deadlocked. And then Kalia Watts started to show better. Ball got taken away from her, but Prico closer than we thought.
A good positioning by Di Bernardo right on top of the box to get that ball out of her feet and whip that around. But this is the best chance, best opportunity. Kalia Watts showing us why she's so good on the dribble, wriggling herself in and out of pressure, cuts here, cuts another, and then all she has to do is slot this one past Murphy, but pulls it wide. You can see the frustration on her face and banging the turf.
She's looking for her first Red Stars goal. How about McNabb trying to score from distance?
And primarily on the field for her defensive pressure, but she sees the space and takes it well. Keeps that one on frame. One of the best shots we've seen from distance throughout this game.
And let's take a look at the NWSL Challenge Cup knockout round bracket brought to you by Budweiser. Thorns and Dash will play early, and either OL Reign or the Chicago Red Stars will join Sky Blue FC in the next round. The Dash had never made the playoffs in the NWSL, guaranteed a berth into the quarters, won it in penalties. Sky Blue had not played a playoff game since 2013. They go through on penalties, and now OL Reign in Chicago, who are far from debutantes in a knockout round game in this quarterfinal, will go to penalties to decide who advances. Murphy, 3 penalties faced in her NWSL career. 1 was wide, 2 converted, has never stopped one. Alyssa Nair, 20 penalties faced, save 5, 1 hit the post. And so it begins. Alyssa Nair against Shirley Cruz. The Costa Rican lifts it over. Shirley Cruz, the 34-year-old reinforcement brought over from France, skies the first penalty.
And sends this right over the bar. You can tell the run-up, almost unsure of her approach, just gets under it, leaning back the entire time. And you can see how frustrated she is with that attempt.
Julie Ertz looks to give Chicago an advantage in the first round of 5. Ertz delivers. Vicious penalty into the top bin.
And she makes no mistake about this one. You could see the run-up, the confidence, and then Rifles goes with her laces. No other place she could put it, upper 90. Even if Murphy had guessed correctly, practically unsavable.
Nicole Momiki. Get OL Reign on the board in penalties. Had Nair going the right way, but skies it over into top netting.
I love that smile. Just so cool and calm and collected with this run up. Just opens up. She actually drags across it. Doesn't matter. She's already forced Nair to guess which way she was going.
Di Bernardo in her career 1 for 3 on penalties. Is this the moment for Murphy? Wow. Perfect. Her first NWSL penalty attempt since 2015.
She blows a sigh of relief. Just opens up her hips, makes good contact with the ball. And enough power and pace.
Darian Jenkins, what a performance in this game. 4 goals in her NWSL career, has never taken a penalty. Jenkins dinks it off the crossbar and scores anyways. 2-2 with Chicago the advantage halfway through.
And after the game that she's had, well done for her to finish this. Looks unsure to step up. It's a slow run up. Here, miss. Fortunately, caught the underside of that crossbar.
Kalia Watt. Watt! That's as cheeky as it gets. And the team loves it. Kalia Watt has not scored the run of play yet, but cashes in on that penalty.
And these are some of the best penalty kicks we've seen so far in the quarterfinals. Everyone stepping up, knowing which direction they want to go, confident in their approach, and that's half the battle. Just choosing from the get-go where you want to place it.
Bethany Balser came in with high confidence. The reigning Rookie of the Year. Nair dives right and nearly steered it out. Instead, Balser delivers 3-3.
Talk about a high pressure situation for a young player, but to step up, swings across her body. Good placement.
Rachel Hill could put OL Reign on the verge. Hill, top bin once again. OL Reign must convert to stay alive.
And you can see the sigh of relief from these players. Even though the kicker has an advantage, it's still nerve-wracking. Rachel Hill does well with that one. Upper 90. Good placement to open up her hips, find the upper top corner.
Lauren Barnes, a Reign original. Barnes to keep OL Reign in the Challenge Cup. Barnes off the post, it's over. Chicago wins it in penalties, and the Red Stars, a finalist a year ago, are on to the semifinal. Chicago advance on penalties and will take on Sky Blue. And believe it or not, the teams that remain in our 8-team tournament, number 4, number 6, number 7, number 8.
And it's such a cruel way to end the game if you're the OL Reign. But on the other side for Chicago Red Stars, alleviated, excited, took their penalty kicks well. Unfortunately for Lauren Barnes, steps up, just nicks the post to keep that one out.
We'll wrap this one up when we return. OL Reign and Chicago Red Stars scoreless to penalties. Red Stars are through. You're watching the NWSL Challenge Cup presented by P&G and Secret.